That's what I became. Made a life decision and getting the blame. Now she's writing books and going on tour. An image whore, let's show her the door. Yeah.
Hello, today I'm joined by Sharlene Taylor-Giles, a DJ and producer known as Shesa Dj. Before moving to Southland a few years ago, Sharlene lived in Papamoa. She played extensively across New Zealand's North Island while working full-time as an educator for a salon brand distributor. Like many New Zealanders, life changed dramatically for their family during the COVID regime. Both Sharlene and her husband lost their jobs because of the mandates, and it was a period that shaped her music in a very personal way. One of the tracks to come out of that time is Second Class Citizen, a title that will resonate with many of our RCR audience, especially following the release of New Zealand's COVID Royal Commission report last week. For many, that report has only further damaged public trust in a system and deepened the feeling that our voices are not being heard, that the voices of the most disadvantaged and most harmed by the mandate shots are still not being heard. Today, Sharlene is joining me to talk about my absolute favourite song, I have to say, Second Class Citizen, and the story behind it. Welcome to RCR, Sharlene. It's lovely to properly meet you.
Thank you, Meagan. It's lovely to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I mean, this song was brought to our attention by the wonderful Liz in our inbox team. And it's quite interesting because I'm a big fan of dance music and music in general. It's not normally the kind of song that, say, my mother would listen to, but my mum is loving this song as well. And Liz, Liz loves it, as do, most of the RCR crew have been listening to it too. Can you tell us, when did Second Class Citizen first begin to take shape for you? And, was there a particular moment that sparked it?
So I had the song and it was forming in my head, and I kept feeling the song and feeling the emotions behind it. And it was like my story really about losing our jobs and having to uplift our lives and move. And the second class citizen, because I really felt that at the time, like I felt really downtrodden, and I felt it was hard to find my voice. I stood up and I said, I'm not going to get the vaccine. And I was and I stood my ground on that, and I would do it the same. But I think towards mid-year last year, I was getting the media around Jacinda Ardern writing her books and getting praise and accolades and everything. And I felt like the moment when she said, yep, it is what it is, and that creating a second tier of society in New Zealand, that stuck with me the whole time from the day I saw that. And I was, that sort of went into the song. It was like she's filling her bank, her tank's full, like she's writing these books and going on book tours, all that sort of thing. It was that frustration that her life is blossomed out of this and financially. And it was saying my piece that I was in that moment, felt like a second class citizen, but I've actually come out the other side. I'm strong. I found my voice and I'm no more. I'm not going to feel like that anymore. And an interesting fact, since I brought this song out and I've talked about the wording that, yep, it is what it is, the amount of people that don't remember that, they're like, I don't remember that. and I'm like, that was such a big moment in my life. It was like, this person who is supposed to be in charge of our country gleefully saying, yes, it's a second tier of society. It's, basically second class citizens. So, and we were made to feel that way at the time. So
it's absolutely a statement that I will never forget. I know VFF had billboards up about it. It's in River of Freedom. It's in the heart of the protest book. It's in my mind because I couldn't believe that she knew what she was doing. Yeah. The next couple of lines after, yep, it is what it is, with glee on her face, I'm calling it like it is a national disgrace. I feel like that section just really sums up how I felt this past week with the COVID report coming out. Have you had a chance to look at anything to do with the report?
Yes, I have. I've seen the things that RCR are putting out and that and so on. And I think I didn't have high expectations, but it didn't even touch any expectations. Like I just felt like it was just another letdown, and other people just don't seem to be interested. Like it's not even on anyone's radar and things like that. It's sort of well, it is. It's disappointing, yeah, and frustrating, and you feel that frustration about the whole thing. So I don't think anything was resolved or changed or anything.
I actually thought, you know what, I bet they've pushed really hard against our side so that they can come out and say, wow, actually, you know what, you guys did have some facts here and some things to be considering that have made us question, you know, exactly what we've been told. But no, not at all.
Yep. It is what it is.
Yes. Okay, so why don't you tell us about, you know, you moved from beautiful beaches at the top of the country to Southland. Tell me about how that happened.
Yeah, well, definitely wasn't on our radar to move. We were quite entrenched in Papamoa, and we'd lived there like 24 years, and our kids had their growing up there and had a great life. Like I worked full time, DJ'd just about every weekend, and had all our friends that we'd known, you know, very close friends, and had a good life. Like we were busy and very active in our social life for friends, etc. And then, of course, when the vaccine mandates came out, we both decided my husband and I both decided not to have the vaccine, and it was very confronting because our closest friends didn't accept that and actually made horrible comments, and it got quite awful. And we at the time we felt we couldn't stand up for what we believed in because we just felt like everyone was sort of piling on us. We had other friends that it wasn't even an issue, like, because to me I didn't have an issue with what anyone else decided, and so I couldn't understand why anyone had a big issue about what I decided. And that was sort of a bit of a catalyst. But we both lost our jobs. Darren's career was almost 34 years with Kiwi Rail, and he lost his job. And of course, I lost mine because I couldn't go into salons and do my job educating hairdressers. And we tried everything to keep our jobs, and we had a mortgage, and I think we had to sell. We couldn't afford to live. And at that time, which felt quite orchestrated at the time on the 1st of December when they changed the Credit Controls and Consumer Finance Act to prevent anyone from getting a mortgage holiday, any credit, even if you had equity in the house, it all went on what your income was. So we were impacted with that because we rang our bank as soon as we lost our jobs and thought we'd be okay. And they said everything goes on your income, and they were prosecuting banks if they loaned to people that didn't have an income to pay back any debt. So the bank just said, you have to sell. You have no choice. Like if you have no income, there's nothing we can do. And when our friends, actually, the friends that took great exception to our decision, when that happened, it actually I just felt like I want to run. I want to get away from here. I just can't do this anymore. And we jumped in the car. We sold our house, and luckily we sold very quickly, and jumped in the car and went for a tour around South Island and said, let's find a nice community. We had a few things on our wish list, you know, being close to airports and not too big a town. And we just got to Gore, didn't know anything about it, spent half a day, bought a house. And we just wanted, and we were like, well, if it doesn't work, we can move. And to be honest, it was a good decision because Gore has an amazing group of freedom people, or people that, to be honest, don't really care about the mandates, or it wasn't such a big thing down here. It was like chalk and cheese from Papamoa to come into Gore. So it just didn't seem to be on the radar, really. People just carried on and didn't really ask too many questions. It was just like life is normal. So met some amazing friends and like-minded people, and just found that support and needed it because I felt very like I'm a strong, confident person, and I'm really resilient, and I've had lots of ups and downs and things in my life, like most people have, and I've bounced back. But this that whole period of my life really rocked me, like really rocked me to the core. Like, went into counselling because I had grief from the friendship, the way it was handled. It was a bit like, you know people, but you don't know people. And when that happened, it just rocked my world. It just really did. And we just said, let's just start a new life and just more grounded, real people down here. And it's, I don't think people buy into the bullshit in Southland. I think it's, yeah, a lovely place, lovely people, and to be honest, it's been a great decision. So
Well, I
yeah,
love how quick it was that you said you're in Gore and you're not there
yeah,
very long before you decide, right, this is it.
yeah,
It can't be as bad as where we've just come from. The
yeah,
line is, I lost my job, lost my friends, lost the life I knew, burned it all down just to tell my truth. And
yeah,
and then you talk about sort of going on the road, and it really resonated with me because I was like a fancy homeless person, essentially. I'd lost my job, couldn't afford rent and other things, and I'm trying to help with River of Freedom and just felt so lost. I couldn't
yeah,
believe that all of these amazing friends I had just turned on me. And so I hear you when you say, you've gone and had some counseling. Fantastic. I'd
mm,
love to see that, you know, many people that went through what we did got some counseling, but it's not affordable for everybody. It's not available. It's
yeah.
really,
Well,
really grateful for that.
interestingly enough, the counselling and how it came about was my GP who said I needed to have the vaccine or I would die. And
Didn't age
she
well.
she arranged counselling to help me come to the right decision. So that is why I went into counselling. Obviously, I knew my decision for me was I was sitting right with it, like it felt like to me it was the right thing. But the counselling I used to get rid of, actually just to sort out my feelings of grief and feeling uncertain about everything. So that was how the counselling came about.
Gosh, I think that's I mean, the strength of you to go into counseling knowing what was coming. I've got friends who were told by their employer, look, let's send you to counseling. They went to
Mm,
workplace paid for counseling to get them to come to terms with taking the shot. Like, which is a
yeah.
wild idea anyway. And counselors I've heard on several occasions said, look, what can we do to help you feel comfortable taking this shot? It's just a strange way to go about your delivering of counseling.
Mm,
And so I find that really amazing that you were able to kind of go in and take what you wanted from that
yeah.
counseling.
Yeah, and luckily I had an amazing counsellor and she was fantastic. So yeah, it was just it actually worked out well. Got a lot of help and a lot of peace with our decision, and which I had peace in myself, but it was all that turmoil of it. Yeah, so I came to terms with all of that, and I couldn't change it. So there were things I couldn't change. So yeah,
Mhm.
ride with it.
That grief that comes with being a second class citizen, I'd never
Mm,
experienced that before.
mm,
I felt like I was, didn't have to worry about that kind of thing. And
mm,
yeah, wow, what a shock. It's
mm,
absolutely devastating to have your friend and family circle turn
yeah,
on you for what you've decided for your own body.
yeah.
At the moment, I know that there's a lot of talk around, well, the science of whether this shot was helpful or not.
Mm,
And for me, coming from a nursing background, nursing is about, we talk about it as being an art and a science. There are scientific factors to it, but it's also about people and ethics. And to
mm,
me, it doesn't really matter whether this shot was actually effective, which it wasn't, and actually safe, which
mm,
it wasn't.
mm,
Even if it completely was safe and effective, as they said, and also COVID was this deadly virus that was
mm,
coming for us. I still believe in choice and, autonomy over your own body. So that was a big kind of surprise to me that people were questioning this.
mm,
My friends who were,
mm.
I thought of the same kind of viewpoint about my body, my choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly, and the fact you had to people felt they were owed an explanation over why you weren't having it, when
Mhm.
I sort of felt like I didn't really need to explain, and I had multiple reasons, as probably most people did,
Mm.
and I didn't feel I had to explain because I wasn't asking them why were you having it, and then the fact that anybody felt comfortable to ask everybody, have you had it? It was it still seems surreal that it even came to that. It just doesn't seem like in our lifetime. It just doesn't seem real, does it? Even now. Yeah, and it is. It should be our choice for everything, like for those
Always.
sort of things. Yeah, any health choice should definitely. Yeah.
One of the lines in the track is every step I took away that pain, built me up, now I'm stronger again. So the counseling is definitely something that helped. How else have you worked to build yourself up to be able to, come out of this experience so well?
I think meeting people who it's interesting because when I meet people in this circle of people that weren't vaccinated or queried things and things like that, you just seem to almost have like an instant connection sometimes. It's like you find your tribe. And I think just for finding people that instead of the people that were saying my decision was wrong, I just met other people that made the same decision, and I realised that I wasn't the only one. It was like there's all these other people out there, and there's a lot more than what everybody were thinking. I'm sure it was more than what the government was telling us at the time. And we were lucky enough to go to the Wellington protest, and that was amongst selling the house and tidying, moving and everything, and we were like, we're going. I mean, we were so impacted. We felt like that was our time to actually, just show up and support the people that were there and have another story to tell, sort of thing, with the people there. And that was really good for my soul going there. And I think I met these teachers, nurses, and a lot of them are around my age, and it was just like I just realized, like these are everybody was everyday people, and they were professional people, never been in trouble with the law before. They were all just people living their lives and bringing their families up, and so meeting those people, and then carrying on with meeting that with out in my community now, and then I just realized that you're not alone. People will support you. There are people out there, and it's just finding those people that sort of, you may not, like everything in life, you may not agree on everything, but you have this core, I think we all have this core belief that, like trust in your decisions, stand by your decisions, and that we should be able to make our own decisions.
While you were at the protest, can you tell me a little bit about how it was when you were there, when you arrived, how long you were to stay for?
We were there for 4 days. I had a concussion not long before, so I was sort of concerned about the crowds. And I mean, you're seeing things on the media and things like that, of course. And then I got there, and it was just instantly had a conversation with this lady, and it's almost like we've known each other before. We had a really good conversation, and I can remember being there and hearing, like, I think I was looking at my phone even, and them talking about the river of filth and the rubbish and the feral people and so on. And I was looking around, I was taking videos for my friends and that, and saying, as it was spotless and happy people, and people just getting like a real sense of community. And people would just share their story, and it was all different stories, like in all, everyone from different walks of life. But I found it incredibly helpful, and listening to the speakers, and just being around the people, and that was really, really good for me. It was, I walked away and thought that was such an amazing experience, and I felt it was really important because it was such a strong time. Like, everyone was telling us to just be quiet, take it, you've got a choice, you've made your choice, all that sort of thing. And it was just really empowering that so many people were in the same boat, but we were all, there to support each other, really. Yeah, it was fantastic. I could have stayed there the whole time, but with my concussion, I just couldn't have done it. But it was such a great time, really important to be there for me. Yeah.
Now, earlier you mentioned critical thinking. Sorry, I sort of just missed that. But talking about critical thinking, what is it that you're hoping from people going forward?
I think everyone needs to go. Well, I just felt like empathy went out the window, and critical thinking went out the window during that whole mandate period. And it's a little bit, to me, it's like, just stop and think, and like, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? How's it going to impact me? How's it impacting my neighbour? How's it impacting my friends, my co-workers? And just going back to that empathy, and just, yeah, going back to caring. And that was lost at the time. I mean, I had a stranger when we were doing a protest on the side of the road in Cameron Road in Tauranga, and this man, middle-aged man, yelled in my face at me, just because we were standing on the side of the road with our placards. And it was that critical thinking for a start. If you're a critical thinker, you'd stop and think, why am I yelling at the stranger who's just holding a sign on the side of the road? So that's part of critical thinking, and empathy, of course. So just, yeah, I just don't take what I'm told at face value anymore. I just seem to think, right, hold on, where's that coming from? Do I need to follow that instruction and things like that, and do what's right for me? So yeah, blindly, I would not go blindly into decisions that, I mean, yeah, that come up potentially in the future. So yeah.
Have you got any other tracks on the way? Anything else we should be listening out for?
I have got What I Live For, which is another song, recent release, and that's for my children. That's really about our family, me living for my children, and doing, yeah, wanting to see them happy. So that is definitely written for them, and my children I'm very proud of. They are critical thinkers, and they're adult children, and I'm proud. Like we obviously, their experience of the mandates, they both chose not to be vaccinated either, and in that age group, 20,
yeah, amazing in that age group.
It was really difficult for them. So I'm very proud of them, and that was the song for them. And I actually seem to always, I've got so many songs for me in my and especially with stuff coming up lately, again with that report and so on, it sort of brings up other things that around what happened and stuff. And mine is my music and songwriting is about like getting my story out. It's just like that, it gets in my head, and yeah, and that's how they come about. So there will be more coming.
Well,
Yeah,
it sounds like it's great that you're able to raise critical thinkers, even, you know, even people who have raised critical thinkers, unfortunately, sometimes it hasn't gone as well.
Yeah.
So if there was something that you could share with our audience around how you would like to see us working on how to bring a more sort of a beautiful energy to our world when everything is feeling so heavy and upsetting, when, you know, the groups that are supposed to be questioning what's happened are still letting us down. You know, is there a way that you think that we should be directing how we manage things? Or, yeah, how is it that you're managing your own ability to cope?
I think staying grounded and feeling confident that you're a bit more self-sufficient, you can look after yourself, and whether that's your health, your food source, you know, growing grounded in the garden and all that sort of things, and even just looking for alternatives and medically and things like that. But I think, yeah, I think just everyone get back to, like I say, talking and not judging, and if you're feeling judged, just sit back and see it's probably that person, you know, it's their issue, if you know what I mean. It's not, you don't need to take it on board. I think that's what I've probably learnt, that if you're feeling judged, it's their problem. And you can just sit in yourself and be confident in yourself, and yeah, and that's where I think that grounded comes in. Yeah.
Brilliant. Have you got any gigs, by the way, coming up? Is there anywhere we can actually dance to your music aside from on YouTube and Spotify? And
not at the moment because of my health, and I'm going to sort that out, and because that's my battle that I've been battling through. But that will definitely be coming once I'm up on board, and yeah, because most definitely that's my passion. I love it, and I love seeing people enjoying themselves, and yeah, my favourite thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us. It's really lovely to see someone bringing lightness, bringing a beautiful energy, but not just like I want more books, I want more films, I want more songs.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that helps change the way people think. So
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
agree. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Brilliant. All right, well, you guys listen to Second Class Citizen. She's a DJ. We'll put all the links and information below in the show notes, and I hope you enjoy the song.
Full second class citizen. Made a life decision, took all the blame, but I held my ground. I do it the same. Lost my whole world, but I opened the door. Found a new town, new sky to explore. Yep, it is what it is, but I'm stronger than before. Second class citizen, no. Second class no more.